How do you trust yourself in relationships when you have made bad decisions in the past? I'm going to give you 2 exercises that you can do to build trust with yourself so that you can really leave that past behind and step into a new version of yourself. Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Kristin. I'm a life and relationship coach as well as a clinical hypnotherapist. This channel is all about healing from toxic relationships and creating that healthy, happy love in your life. So don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can get notified when I bring you new content every single week. I have been asked the version of this question over and over again. Kelly, I've been in toxic relationships in the past. I've done the healing work. Maybe you've done some of my programs. And I know my worth. I know what I want in a partner, but I'm just afraid. I'm afraid that what if I make the wrong decision? What if I get into another relationship that is not really what I want? And I want to first kind of address some underlying issues going on and then give you a couple exercises that you can do to improve trust with yourself. Because what you're really saying is, even though I've already done this work and I've been doing the work and I feel better, I don't trust myself to make the right decisions. And right there, I do want to do a little reframe for you because there's a lot of fear around making a wrong decision or making a bad decision. And that is really a limiting viewpoint to even believe that you could make a right or wrong decision when really, if we looked at our lives, and especially in context of relationships, as saying there really is no right or wrong. There's just lessons, my own personal evolution, and all of the things that I need to learn to be able to grow and evolve into the human that I came here to be. That's a much more empowering stance. So I think if we just kind of throw away the idea that you could make a wrong decision, that's really empowering. 2, I think that when you step into a new version of yourself, the universe is not going to test you necessarily, but may present you with a person that looks a lot more like the ideal that you want to be with. You have a great relationship, but there might be some things that start to creep in that tell you, hey, this isn't exactly what you want. Or are you going to settle, or are you going to stick with what you actually desire and stick with your boundaries and stick with your standards? So in that context, that is really asking you to flex your trust in yourself and flex your faith muscle that things can actually be how you desire them to be. So a couple of things I want to go over when it comes to trusting yourself. And this is so important, and I think often overlooked, is our own relationship with our own yes, with our own no. So it's one thing to have boundaries in place, it's one thing to have standards and desires, but it's another to actually know your own body that is going to tell you what a yes or a no is. So I have a really simple exercise, and you can do this right now. I want you to think about a time in the past where you had a decision that you needed to make, and it was something that you were going back and forth on, something that you were kind of like, I don't know what I should do. Should I do this? Should I not do this? And you were going back and forth over that yes and no. I think everybody has had a situation like that in their life. So why don't you go ahead and just imagine yourself in that scenario right now. And I literally want you to float down into your body, like see yourself and then go down into your body during that time and actually feel inside of your body. Was that a yes or was that a no? And if you've never done this before, it might take some practice. And you might be like, what are you talking about? How do I do that? Take a couple deep breaths. Center yourself, maybe do this later. You can actually also go into meditation and just slow yourself down enough where you actually are in an internal space of quiet, and ask your body, body, show me yes. Body, show me no. And feel subtle differences in your energy. Feel subtle differences. I know for me, when my body says yes, it feels like an expansion, and especially in like my solar plexus, in my heart chakra area, I'll feel a bit of an expansion. When I am in a no state, and this happens immediately, okay, it's like a little tension or something in my solar plexus, almost like a pulling inside. That is what my no is in my body. And that will happen in situations now when I know exactly what it is. Like there's something wrong here, there's something off here. Our bodies are so acutely attuned to vibrations, to the world that we're living in, but most of us don't practice this. And if you don't have that relationship with your body, it is going to take practice. But I promise you, it is so worth it because you're tuning into yourself. The next step is trusting that yes, trusting that no, right? Practicing. Once you understand how to get into your body, you know this about yourself, you know what your body's telling you, is to actually follow the yes. It's a yes when it's a yes, it's a no when it's a no. And building that relationship with yourself. So you can start out small with things that maybe you don't think are a big deal, like what you're eating, which direction you should go home, if you can get home a couple different ways or something like that. And then you can build on it to where you're really trusting that internal cue from yourself to help guide your life. Now, the next exercise that I want to talk about is so simple. You don't have to practice to get into it. You can start right now. And you are going to want to keep small daily promises to yourself. Oftentimes we have a lack of self-trust because it's a lot easier for us to follow through with things that we promise when other people are involved, right? Like how many times is it so easy to say, I'm gonna go to the gym every day, and you never go to the gym. But if you had a friend that was coming to the gym with you, holding you accountable, you would show up, right? Or you told somebody you were gonna do something, so you do it even though you might not necessarily want to. When it comes to yourself, it's oftentimes easier to not do that, right? It's oftentimes easier to find an excuse. I don't want to go to the gym today. I'm tired, or I'm this, or I'm that. So it's really about finding small commitments that you can keep to yourself. Now, I don't want you to fall into the trap of having to keep crazy commitments to yourself, right? Like you're not going to go from somebody who never went to the gym to waking up, meditating, journaling, then going to the gym, like all before you get up and go to work or whatever, right? You don't want to set yourself up for failure. You want to do just small things. Maybe it's setting a commitment for a 5-minute meditation. Maybe it's setting a commitment of deep belly breathing for 3 minutes. Maybe it's setting a commitment of going to the gym. I don't know what it is. Whatever would actually work for you. And then you can build on that. But the thing is that you have to keep that commitment. You have to show yourself that you can trust yourself, and you're basically letting your mind and body know that you can trust yourself. So then when you do decide to get into a new relationship, 1, you're aware of what your body is telling you, and 2, you know that you can trust yourself to follow through on what you need to do. So that's going to be it for me today. Thank you guys so much for listening, for tuning in. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Check out these other videos for more, and I'll see you soon.